it's just, I mean, because you just put it out there, like, you just don't know. Yeah. I was going to say, okay, let's just do this. Facebook. You know what, I know. A lot of people are, most people contact me through, or email me or something, easier. And sometimes some of the things that are posted, I just think, nobody wants to know. Right? Nobody wants to know that I'm picking up my dry cleaning. And a lot of stuff you get. A lot of photos. Yeah, photos. Photos are good. Photos are not. Sounds realistic. I would do it for but I like to keep in contact with us. Yeah, I know. That's good. Hey, it's working. Okay, so let me just do this. Weird things. We get 2 minutes. Okay, can you make that link? What? Yeah, it says My Spiritual Solutions. You want to do your link and then on the message, you check the, you do a spell check real quick, and then you send it to the free class, to the free one. Yeah. We're just going to do it the way that we, run the class, just like whatever. Most of the people on are people that we all know, so yeah, so it'd be good. So if you guys are on, we're setting it up so you can ask questions on our Facebook. So it's facebook.com/myspiritualsolutions.com, or no, not my spiritual solutions. So it's facebook.com/myspiritualsolutions, and we're going to send it to you in an email. 320, right? So we don't even know where we are. So facebook.com/myspiritualsolutions320. Somebody else wanted that URL, so we had to add the 320. You know why I added the 320? The 320 is 3 is for creativity, 2 is for harmony and balance, and 0 is for you can always begin, right? Always starting at the beginning. So the 320. That's how we roll. Okay, so just run it through a spell check on my message. Actually, who cares if it's spelled wrong? We'll just send it. Okay, so go down and go to proceed to send. Oh, it's 6 o'clock, and then the free meditation list. Hi, welcome to. What's the name of the class? Transform the life you have into the life you love, free meditation and mindful living event. I'm Krista Magidson, and I'm so glad that you're here. There's a few of us in the office, so there's some people live, and then, there's you being wherever it is that you are, in your home, in your bedroom. Maybe you're having a little meditation party, which is great. We're going to have a really fun time. Meditation is really fun. So we're going to meditate, we're going to get nice and relaxed, and then I'm going to share with you the one technique or mindset technique that is going to change the way that you see yourself in your world. And because of that, it will change your world. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really excited. And for those of you that have attended classes with me before, this may be a little bit familiar, but I put a twist on it. So we're all going to learn something new tonight, and I'm really excited about that. So let me tell you a little bit about myself before we begin. Again, my name is Krista Magidson, and I started teaching meditation about 14 years ago when my daughter was about 1 year old, and I just had this urge to give back. So I used to volunteer at a shelter, and I would cook. So I went to a women's homeless shelter and asked if they, if they needed any help. And she said, "What can you do?" And I said, "Well, I can cook and I can teach cooking." And she goes, "Well, we already have somebody that does that. What else can you do?" And I thought, "Oh, well, I can teach meditation." And that was the first meditation class I taught, was to a group of women. They were pregnant and homeless, and this was like a halfway house kind of situation. It was fabulous. And it was one of the greatest opportunities I've had. And I just continued to teach from there. And before that, I worked with a shamanic practitioner. I worked with Buddhist nuns. I went back to school. I was so interested in religious studies that I went back to school and got a certificate in religion. I had this idea that I was going to be a professor. And then I'm a master certified in neuro-linguistic programming, a master hypnotherapist, and a master in mental and emotional release therapy. So anyway, so you're in good hands. You're in good meditation hands. So before we begin, I'd like you to write down what your intention is for the class. So if you have a pen near you and a piece of paper, or maybe if you don't have anything to write on or to write with, just think about what your intention is, because it's really all about transformation. And when we think about our intention, and when we set an intention, then we're making a commitment to ourselves. And we're going to know that this class will not leave you where it found you. So you'll be different after this class, after this meditation event. So just take a moment and write down your intention. I have notes here, so I look to the side. I don't pretend to memorize everything. We have some, like I said, we have some visitors here, so they're finishing up writing. And we're going to start with a meditation. And then we're going to jump into the learning, into the lesson for the one technique. Okay, so you're going to want to stay tuned for this. And I'm so glad and honored that you have chosen to spend your time here with me and here doing your meditation practice and doing something that's really good for you, for your mind, your body, your spirit, that's good for the people around you. You know, everybody likes it when mom, dad, sister, brother are nice and calm and centered. So we're going to get started. So find yourself in a comfortable seated position. I always meditate in a chair because sitting for too long on the floor hurts my back, but that's up to you. If you're sitting on the floor, if you have really open hips and it's comfortable for you to sit on the floor, go ahead and do that. If you really want to sit on the floor but your hips aren't so open, go ahead and find a cushion and sit on the edge of the cushion so that your hips are higher than your knees. This will help to lengthen your spine, and it will help you to be comfortable during the meditation. I don't recommend that you lie down unless it's too painful for you to sit upright, because if you lie down, you might just go to sleep. And then you'll miss the rest of the class. All right. So I'm going to talk as if we're all sitting in a chair. So eyes closed, chin tilted slightly down so that the back of your neck is nice and long. And just feel your body in the chair. Feel your body if you're sitting on the floor, Good. Notice the thoughts that are moving through your mental screen. And all you're doing is just noticing. Notice the images. Notice the emotions, the feelings. Good, and let all of that go. And move your attention into the refuge of the body. Move your attention down into the tailbone. And in your mind's eye, imagine a golden thread moving up the length of the spine. But it's moving up very slowly, really taking its time. Moving up vertebrae by vertebrae. All the way up the length of the spine. And imagine you can feel your body becoming longer. You can feel yourself becoming taller. In your mind's eye, the golden thread moves up the cervical spine, lengthening the neck, and the golden thread moves up and out of the crown of your head and moves all the way up towards the ceiling. Imagine you can feel it tugging at the crown of the head. Imagine you can feel the body becoming impossibly long. Good, and now bring your attention back down into the body. Back down the length of the spine. All the way down, back down, down to your bottom. Good. Notice if you're leaning to the left or to the right. And go ahead and move around in your seat a little bit so that you're sitting on both cheeks evenly. You want to feel a nice balance between the right body and the left body. Unclench the body and allow the chair to support your weight completely. Good, and now move your attention down the backs of your legs, down the hamstrings and the backs of the knees, the calves, the heels. Trace the bottoms of your feet with your awareness, the arches of the feet, the pads of the toes. Trace the outer edges of the feet. Good. Go ahead and wiggle your toes around, releasing any tension and deepening your connection with the ground beneath you. Good. Allowing the chair, allowing the floor to support you in your practice. In your mind's eye, imagine going deeper. Imagine the earth beneath the floor. Imagine the cool, rich soil of the earth, vast and wide. The earth stretches in all four directions, north, south, east, and west. In your mind's eye, imagine you can sense that the entire earth is supporting you in your practice. And maybe you can let go a little bit more. In fact, maybe there's a thought, there's a situation, there's a person that you know is no longer serving you. And so just let that go. Just let it go into the earth. It's so easy. Just imagine gravity pulling it away from the body-mind, deep into the earth. Beautiful. And now take your awareness into your face. Notice if there's tension in the face. Notice if you're frowning, if there's tension in the eyes, tension in the jaw. Go ahead and lift your eyebrows up, lift them all the way up, and then let them drop and smooth the skin of the forehead. Good, and take your awareness into your eyes. And imagine you can feel the eyes resting in the sockets, releasing all the stress and strain from the day. In your mind's eye, imagine the optic nerves resting. Imagine you can feel the brain resting in the skull. In your mind's eye, imagine the nervous system encased in the spine, resting. Beautiful. And now take your awareness back to the eyes and let your eyes be soft so that your upper and lower lids are barely touching. Good. Take your attention into your jaw. Go ahead and open up the mouth and move the lower jaw around gently, releasing tension and releasing pressure from your ears. Good. Close the mouth and place the tip of your tongue at the ridge just behind your two front teeth. Part your lips slightly and smile just slightly. Opening up the face and opening up the heart. Good. Take your attention down the sides of the neck and over the shoulders. Roll your shoulders up to the bottoms of your ears and then let them drop. Good. Releasing any tension in the neck. Take your awareness down the length of your arms, the biceps and the triceps, the elbows, down the forearms, down to the wrists, and into the hands. Let the arms be heavy. Notice if there's tension in your hands. Go ahead and wiggle your fingers around, releasing tension, and then place your hands either palms up or palms down on your thighs, or folded lightly in your lap. Good. Take your awareness now underneath the arms and down the sides of the body. Take your beautiful awareness over the throat and chest, over the belly, over the pelvis, over the thighs, the knees, the shins, the ankles, the tops of the feet, the tips of the toes. Feel the body in the chair. Feel the breath in the body. Feel the breath as it glides in and out through your nose. Good. Pay very close attention. Notice if you're breathing through the right or the left nostril. Imagine you can feel the breath coming in and out evenly through both nostrils. Just imagine you can feel that, the breath gliding in and out through both nostrils evenly. Beautiful. Following the breath down into the chest. Feel the gentle rise and fall of the chest. Feel the gentle rise and fall of the belly. Feel the breath in the body. And notice the natural pause between your inhales and exhales. There's a natural pause between your inhale and your exhale. Place your attention there. And imagine that space between the inhale and the exhale becoming longer. It's as if there's just a little pause button, and it gets pressed, and there's a beautiful pause between your inhale and your exhale. Good. And in your mind's eye, imagine with each inhale now you're breathing in a beautiful white light. Good. You're breathing in a beautiful white light and sending it into the eyes. Breathe that light into the eyes and exhale smoke. Exhale any negativity from the eyes. And the smoke just disappears and dissipates. You don't need to worry about it. Inhaling the white light, sending it into the brain. And in your mind's eye, the white light swirls around in the brain, healing, balancing. And when you exhale, exhale any negativity, exhale any heaviness from the brain. Exhale smoke, just let it go, you don't need it. Inhaling the white light all the way down into the spine. And in your mind's eye, the breath and the light fill the nervous system, healing and balancing the nervous system. And when you exhale, exhale smoke. Exhale any heaviness, any tension. Just let it go. It's so easy. Inhaling that beautiful white light all the way down into the lungs. Filling the lungs with healing white light. And when you exhale, exhale smoke, exhale any negativity. Beautiful. Let's do that again. Inhaling that white light, sending it into the lungs, healing and balancing. Imagine the light moving to the top and to the bottom of the lungs. Opening, healing, balancing. And when you exhale, exhale the heaviness, exhale any smoke. Just let it go. It's okay. Good. Inhaling the white light, breathing it into the heart. And in your mind's eye, imagine the breath and the light caressing the heart, healing the heart. Imagine the breath and the light moving into the chambers of the heart. Good. Inhaling deeply, intensifying that white light, and then exhaling any negativity, any non-love. Just let it go. Let's do that again. Inhaling that white light, healing, nurturing, caressing the heart, filling the heart with light, with love, with forgiveness. And exhaling all the heaviness, all the unforgiveness. Let it go. Who needs it? Let it go. Beautiful. Breathing in the white light, sending it into the bloodstream. And the light travels throughout the body, healing, balancing, nourishing the body. Exhaling any heaviness from the bloodstream. Inhaling the white light, filling the body. And exhaling smoke. Exhale the negativity, letting it go. Inhaling the white light. And exhaling, and you notice that the smoke is getting lighter. Inhaling. And exhaling, and the smoke is getting even lighter. Inhaling the white light. And then exhaling the white light. Beautiful. Inhaling the white light. Exhaling, healing, balancing, loving light. In your mind's eye, that light is all around you. It's in you, it's moving through you. That light is connected to the deepest part of who you are. And it's just magnificent. And so just be in your light. Be in your magnificence. Just for a few more moments. Just be. Just breathe. Taking a nice, deep, conscious, connective breath all the way down to the toes. And then sighing it out. Very gently opening up the eyes just a little bit and gazing down at the floor. Just taking a moment for yourself. Open up your eyes all the way, wiggle your fingers and toes, coming all the way back to the room, and give yourself a hug. That's what we like to do in class. And then give yourself another hug so you feel balanced on both sides. There you go. How was that? I hope it was relaxing. I think we meditated for about 20 minutes, so it's a nice 20-minute Friday night meditation. And I like to teach the meditation that's very similar to Shavasana, if you're familiar with yoga, where you're coming deep into the body and you're relaxing every muscle of the body. And you do that simply with your awareness by touching the body and touching different aspects of the body. You might even feel that sinking sensation of coming in tune and coming in touch. And that is very relaxing. And so you can relax consciously at any time because you just did it. So whenever you're feeling tension in the mind, if there's a lot of thoughts, that are disturbing, just bring your attention into the body and into the breath. Notice if you're holding tension in your face, if you're holding tension in your shoulders, maybe your breath is shallow, and just relax the body. And what will happen is that your thoughts will begin to relax as well. So a relaxed body is a relaxed mind. That's one of our mantras, right? Relaxed body is a relaxed mind. All right. So I promised you the one technique, the mindfulness techniques that's going to help you shift everything in your life or begin that shift in your life. And I'm really excited Okay, I'm going to get it out here. All right. And it's ta-da! Some of you I know are familiar with this from the classes. And this is what it is. Your beliefs, hopefully you can see it. I'll hold it up. Oh, it's backwards. But that's okay. You'll get a sense of it. A visual aid is good. Your beliefs affect your thinking and your feeling. And your thinking and your feeling affect your doing. And your doing affects your environment. So your environment could be your situation at work, your situation with your relationships, even your physical body can be your environment. And then your environment will reinforce your beliefs. So we call this is really how your mind works. This is who you believe that you are. And this is how you create in your world, in my world, in your world. This is how you create. You create with your beliefs, your thinking, your doing, and your environment, and then your environment continues to prove your belief system. So why is this important? It's important because it removes you from being the victim, and it helps you to then co-create in your life in a very positive way. So as an example, let's say I want you to think about in a situation that's not working for you. So maybe your relationship, maybe it's your job, maybe it's your level of fitness, whatever it is. So think about what that is, okay? And I'm going to give you an example. My example is, let's pretend your relationships aren't working for you the way that they want. So my relationships are very unsatisfying. So then let's go backwards on the wheel. Well, what are my actions around my relationships? Well, I go on Match.com and, and I meet people at coffee shops or whatever. And, and I meet people, but, I'm not meeting the right kinds of people. It seems like the people that I meet all seem to be the same. They really don't have a lot of respect for me, and I'm not quite sure why that is. So this is the situation. So maybe you have a different situation. Maybe it's a situation at work. Okay, so think about what that is and think about what your actions are. What are you doing? And now go back and think about what your thoughts are about it. What is it that you're really thinking about the thing that is bothering you? And this is really important because your environment is a mirror of your consciousness. It's a mirror of what's going on inside you. And when you know that, then you can begin to shift it. I'm telling you, this is revolutionary. I work with this with myself all the time, and I work with clients and in the class. This is what we use. It's amazing. So think about what your thoughts are. So in our example, maybe you think, well, if I'm really in my body and I really think about my relationships with men or women, you think maybe they're like children. I hear that from people. Men are like children, and I don't want to have to deal with that. That's really my thinking and my feeling about it. So what is it for you? What is your thinking? What are the thoughts? What is the language that you use when you talk about your love relationships, when you talk about your job? Maybe when you talk about your spiritual connection with your source, what kind of language do you use? Is it positive? Is it uplifting? Do you find yourself complaining in your mind a lot about what it is? I met someone, an amazing businesswoman. She has a hairstyling salon. She's had it for 48 years. 48 years. And she said to me, how many women do you know that have been in business successfully for 48 years? And she said, you know what? When I started my business, my friend said, don't ever complain because this is what you wanted. And she said, so whenever the thoughts come in about complaining, I stop myself. I don't complain. Anything that happens that isn't exactly the way that I wanted it is my fault. So not fault and blame, but it's my responsibility. This is what I wanted, right? So what is your thinking? What are you thinking about what it is, this thing? And so in our example with the relationships, well, men are like children, or women are like children, or whatever. And then you come back. So what does that mean? If they're like children, then what does that make you? Let's take a deep breath into that. What does that make you? In my example, makes me like the parent. If you're the child, then I'm the parent. And in our culture, parents and children are not exactly equal, right? I'm the parent. You do what I tell you to do, and you're the child. So the belief system is that my relationships are not equal. Men and women are not equal. You see how that works? So that's the belief system. So let's go forward now in our example. See, this is a little different for those of you that come to class. It's different. It's good though. Okay. So my belief is that I'm the parent, you're the child. Our relationship is unequal. That's what I believe. And then my thinking is, I don't like children. But then I go out on a date, or I meet someone, or I go on Match.com, or whatever it is that you're doing. And my action, though, is tainted by my thinking and my believing. I can guarantee you that there could be a wall of men, a wall of women lined up, that you are honed in on the ones that are a mirror of what you believe. I'm not saying that they are children. Maybe they're very playful, and that's how you interpret it as being childlike. But those are the people that you see, the people that you connect with, right? So your actions are tainted. You can think of it this way too. Let's say you have a bad day at work and you come home and you're angry, right? And so you're, having to cook dinner and you're pounding things and you're frustrated, and then everybody has heartburn from the dinner because you're angry when you made it. That happens. Okay. So the actions are tainted. And then the environment, soon you say, maybe this person is disrespectful to you. Maybe that is what happens. Maybe he doesn't take you seriously. Maybe he is childlike in his mentality. I don't know, or her mentality. And then your environment proves your belief. You see how that is? And so with your relationships, you're right. Why do I meet the same kinds of people all the time? Have you noticed you meet your mother all the time? Or you meet your father, right? It's all part of this, part of your perception, your beliefs, your thinking, your doing, and your environment. So this is the big shift. What is it that's not working for you? And examine. You can start any place on the wheel. You can start with your beliefs. Maybe it will come up. Or really start with your thinking and your doing. What is the extension of your action? Really contemplate that, sit with it, and then you can shift it. Because this is unconscious. Nobody consciously creates, negative relationships or, negative happenings for themselves. Nobody does this consciously. We do it unconsciously. So the good news is once you realize it, you've already begun to shift it. Something different has happened. And then you might run into someone that is like the person that maybe you would normally date. And then you think, oh, I see you. I'm gonna steer in a different direction. I'm speaking to myself higher thoughts about myself and about people. So it could be maybe, you see people as playful, as fun, as equal. So this is our example. Okay, so this is the big shift. I hope you like it because it really works. And we work with this all the time in the classes. I'd ask you if you have any questions. I know you might have a few because some of you might be thinking, or you might be thinking, well, does that apply to this situation? Does it apply to my work? Does it apply to my body? Does it apply to the car accident that I was in? Yeah, it does. So you can post your questions on Facebook. I think we finally figured out the URL. It's facebook.com/myspiritualsolutions320. Or you can just email me. You have just respond to one of the newsletters, and you can email your questions as well. So what are your next steps? Our classes, time is going by so quickly, right? All right, so the next step is we have a new series of classes coming up. If you like this, if you like the meditation and you like the learning, we do a lot more in the classes. We have a little bit more talking, and then we always finish with another meditation. And we might have time to finish with a meditation tonight. So that's exciting. But our next class is going to be Awakening to Your Life's Purpose. It's backwards, but just go with it. By Eckhart Tolle. Okay. And we're going to be using this book to find our purpose and our passion in our lives. But it really starts within. It's just like our circle. I don't know what I did with it. Here it is. It's just like our circle. You know, aligning your outer purpose begins with inside, begins with what's going on the inside. And so Eckhart Tolle is a master teacher. And I have read this book many times. I think I taught it the first time maybe 10 years ago or so. And you can see it's all written in, and I take notes, and every time I read it, I learn something new myself. And so this is all about understanding what your true divine purpose is, and then how to align that with your outer purpose, with your job. And maybe your job will change, maybe it won't, maybe your relationships will change, your relationships will change, and that's a good thing. Our relationships can always be better. So we're going to be working with this on April 29th. That's next week, next Wednesday. It's a 6-week class from 7 to 8:30. And you can live stream the class, or you can join me live. It's at the Redondo Beach Center for Spiritual Living. And the whole 6 weeks is $75 total. So it's a great value. Yay, we like value. And we have a lot of fun in the classes. And you'll have an opportunity to ask more questions. And if you miss a class, or if you live really far away, you can watch it on the live stream, and then we record it. You can watch it actually anytime. So it's a great deal. And if you are interested, then scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page and click Awakening to Your Life's Purpose, and it will take you to Eventbrite, and you can register there. Does that sound good? I hope so. I hope you try working with the wheel. I hope you feel relaxed. You're going to have a good night's sleep tonight. I know you will. And we have some time left. So I think we should do another meditation. What do you guys think? There are people here. I'm like, some more meditation. Meditation makes us feel good. Okay, you guys ready? Let's do another one. You can. Put your feet flat on the floor. Eyes closed. Chin tilted slightly down so that the back of your neck is nice and long. And just feel the breath in the body. And feel your beautiful body in the chair. Relax the face. Good. And connect again with that light. That light that's in you, it's moving through you, and it's all around you. That light that's connected to the deepest part of who you are. Beautiful. And when you inhale, say to yourself silently, I am. And when you exhale, peaceful. Inhale, I am. Exhale, loving. Inhale, I am. Exhale, whole. Inhale, I am. Exhale, peaceful. Inhale, I am. Exhale, loving. Inhale, I am. Exhale, whole. Inhale, I am. And exhale, peaceful. Inhale, I am. Exhale, loving. Inhale, I am. Exhale, whole. And just say that, breathing that in again. Knowing the truth about yourself. The truth of you is peaceful, loving, whole and complete. The truth of you is peaceful, loving, whole, and complete, just as you are in this moment. Taking another deep, conscious, connected breath and sighing it out. Just knowing for yourself that you are peaceful, you are loving, you are whole, you are complete, just as you are. Coming all the way back to the room. Thank you for joining me. I think we're going to sit around and talk a little bit. Maybe we have some questions. So you're welcome to stay. And again, you can ask questions on Facebook, or you can email me, or you can sign up for the class and join me live. Namaste. All right, do you guys have any questions? We have some time on here. If you don't mind being broadcasted to the world, it's incognito. There's like disembodied voices in the background. I know, it's exciting. Who is it? It's your conscience. Any questions or comments about the environment, the beliefs, the thoughts? I know we go over it a lot, but this time we went backwards. Yeah.
The question: even if you're conscious of your own thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
and the circle you were talking about, what if you're surrounded by people who are very negative and who don't live by this, who don't think by that, and who are very negative, and you can see that this is obviously happening to them because they keep saying, "Oh my God, I have such bad luck. All these things happen to me," and I find it challenging.
Yeah.
Because it feels like it almost like rubs off.
Yeah.
And, like, how do you kind of protect yourself to tell the people, you know what, please?
Well, there's a couple of things, right? Because that's a loaded question. So what do you do when there's people around you that are negative, like your family sometimes, you know? So in my opinion, you know, my feeling is about family teaches us to love unconditionally. Because oftentimes the people that are our family are not people that we would choose consciously to be around. And so that's one, you know, one area. Maybe you're in a job where you're surrounded by a lot of negative people too, you know, and, you know, you need the money, you need to make a living. And so it's very difficult to, you know, to just leave. Well, Eckhart Tolle does say, you know, you can accept it, change it, or leave it. Those are usually your three options. So, or they are your three options. So you can't change people's behavior and you can't change their thinking. What I've noticed though, is when I change my feeling about them and my language about them, my perception of them changes. And oftentimes that changes the environment and the relationship. Sometimes they come closer, sometimes they go away, but it does shift things in the environment. So that's one thing. So you watch your language about them. It's like the example with the relationship where, you know, my significant other is like a child. But you can say, well, you know, my significant other is very playful and I enjoy the playfulness and the lightheartedness. And so you can look for the positive in the other person, right? Because then that's your mindfulness practice. That's your meditation practice. Instead of focusing on their negativity, you're focusing on what's going on in my mind. Does that make sense? If it's a job situation, then yeah, you might have an option maybe to start looking for another job. That's not spiritual. You just do it consciously. The other learning could certainly be about boundaries. You know, and boundaries come from the heart center. They don't come from your power center. Your power center is here. And oftentimes when people want to set a boundary, they want to set a boundary like this and they want to make it angry. You know, it's like, oh, don't cross this line. When really boundaries are about self-care and self-love, right? So it might be as simple as telling someone when you're in that state, I don't want to have this conversation with you. But if you want to talk to me about that later, then we can. And so it's really finding that for yourself, what the boundary is and what feels good and nurturing to you, not forced. Does that make sense? And then there's an energy thing. So that's 4 things so far. The energy thing that you can do is one of my favorites. Actually, you can put yourself in a bubble of light, right? And it works. A bubble of protection, especially when you know you are walking into an environment that tends to be negative. You do want to protect yourself. You're right. Your body language is right. I want to protect myself. So put yourself in a bubble of light. Say a prayer. I love Joel Osteen. He said something very similar. You know, when you go, we just sometimes just go into a work or we go into an environment that we know is negative, and then we're surprised, you know, by what happens. And he says, you have to go prayed up, you know, whatever your belief system is, you know, prayed up, meditated up, energized, you know, whatever that is, so that you go in prepared and then you're less likely to be knocked down by the negativity. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good one. Everybody's like, bubble of light right now, bubble of light, bubble of light. It's Friday night, bubble of light. Does anybody else have any questions?
I have one question. Sometimes when you, let's say we're sort of a judgment call, we say a person's being negative,
Sure.
and then they say, well, I'm not being negative, I'm being realistic.
Oh, don't you love that? I was just having a conversation with someone about that last time. Like every realist I met as a cynic, you know, or cynical in disguise. Yeah. Well, you know, I have found that people who are extremely intelligent tend to call themselves realists because they see the inner workings of things, you know. And but you know, you can choose too. I mean, they can choose to look at the positive. They don't always have to look at the negative. They can look for the learning, but again, that's not for you to point out. You know, understand what I'm saying? I mean, nobody wants to hear it's like, okay, well, you're a realist, and you know, and if it bothers you, then they're holding up a mirror for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So before, personally, I would feel sometimes like I had to defend my point of view, you know, but then you're in a power struggle with that person.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm in a power struggle, then the issue is about control. So do I want to be, you know, in a power struggle with you? Do I want to have control over the situation? Or do I want to be comfortable in my own skin? And do I want to be happy? So as soon as I recognize this isn't about you being a realist, this is about me wanting to control you and control the situation, it diffuses it. And then it's easy to set the boundary. Like, you can be a realist all you want, you know. I want to look at rainbows and look for the positive and the playfulness. That's a good question. Anything else? No? We're all writing it down. So you can protect yourself. That's always something good. You know, put yourself in the light. Sometimes, what do you do after a long day? You know, when sometimes you just feel overwhelmed by stuff. One of my favorite things to do is to take a salt bath. So Epsom salts, or I like the sea salts. There's this really beautiful pyramid salt that you can get at Trader Joe's if you have a Trader Joe's where you live, or maybe you can order salts online. But, you know, taking a salt bath, it helps to relieve the, you know, just wash away and cleanse away the negativity. So, you know, having those kinds of little mini rituals for yourself at the end of the day when you're making a transition. You know, when I'm doing my meditation and I'm doing my journaling and I'm doing my spiritual work, and I'm still at my job right now, that, you know, and I still have this boss that really doesn't like me very much. That's still happening. I know that things are shifting, and in the meantime, I need to take good care of myself. So what a wonderful way to come home and just kind of release the day, take off the clothes, right? Because like the clothes carry the scent of the day. So take off the clothes, you know, give yourself a salt bath or a salt scrub, light some candles, and maybe do a light meditation then, you know, to kind of, to help you come back into your body. Yeah, everybody, they're all such good teachers. I told someone that recently, like, oh, he's such a good spiritual teacher for you. And they started laughing, you know, not in a jovial way. They're like, ha, ha, ha. So, anything else? Nope, we're good. All right, I hope you're good too. I think we're done. Corey, you talk so much. Gosh, I just wish you'd stop. Can you hear him? He just goes on and on and on like corn plays. I know. Are we good?
Yeah. On the bottom of your page.
Oh yeah. So remember, you can go to the bottom of the page if you want to register for the class. Yeah. Awakening to Your Life's Purpose. Are you ready? You should do it. I'm telling you, it's going to be fun. We're going to have more of this. It's going to be more of this. It's going to be more fun. More enlightenment. Yay. All right. I'll see you guys then. Okay. Bye. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think we have 2 more minutes, but that's okay. We'll just wind it down. I see me. It's weird. I'm talking to myself. Yeah, I know it's weird. It's like I'm talking to myself. Yeah. No, it's a little, it's interesting. Yeah, I just see myself. Yeah. Yeah. It's like pretend. I just
Can we go home now and watch this again?
Yeah, we're going to send you the link. Oh, this is going to be recorded. So if you're still here, there's some people that are just now logging on. If you're still here and you missed it, you missed the beginning or part of the meditation, we're going to be sending this to you. Well, I guess we don't have to send it. If you already have the link, you can just watch it again. So you should have it. Yeah, right? It'll be on there, Corey. Corey's the tech master. So, yeah, so it'll be there.
And I have a question, but I feel like I've answered my own question.
No, but let's talk about it. We have another minute or
if
2.
you've been spinning around the circle,
Yeah, spinning around the circle.
you know, a negative way, negative manners, doing things that are not in alignment with what you should be doing,
Mm-hmm.
is the way to start the shift just by starting to analyze these?
Okay. I hear you. Not analyze. And that's a really good, you know, because some of us are overthinkers, and yeah, and so that keeps us stuck in the circle. That's like the dog chasing its tail.
Okay.
And I believe it was Einstein that said you can't solve the problem on the level of consciousness that created it. So oftentimes that analyzing and that overthinking is part of the problem, right? So So I would focus more than on the feeling and on what am I doing and what are my intentions with the doing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I feel anxious right now, and then look at one of the things I noticed about myself from in my yoga class, she said, okay, when you're in a challenging pose, notice what your mind does. And I thought, oh, that's a really good practice. So as soon as things got hard, I checked out. I start daydreaming. And that was always my go-to place when I was a kid too. Things got hard, I just go into La La Land. And listen, La La Land is fun. There's nothing wrong with La La Land. But that was interesting. It was a stress response for me. And so you might notice that if you're like, I'm going to watch my actions. You know, what happens when I get stressed? And then you're starting to you're getting out of the circle and you're actually watching what's happening, which
When
is
you
so
notice what
powerful.
you're doing, when you notice that, then you can say, okay, I'm gonna take a different path.
Yeah,
I'm going to
you're
check
curious.
out when I'm
Yeah.
doing yoga, right?
Yeah, and you get curious. And here's the other really amazing part from doing this. You don't want to think about what your next step is. No more analyzing. You feel the next step. It's an intuitive thing. So it's what's the next thing that I should be doing? I think in the email that I sent out today about sleeping, you know, how to get a better night's sleep. It's what do I need to know about the situation, right? And it's a very contemplative question, and then you wait for the answer, and the answer will come, I promise. So it's the same kind of thing. It's I've noticed that I've checked out. So what is it that I could do instead? And you will amaze yourself at the answers that are already within you. You know, it might be like, well, don't check out. Or, you know, daydream about, you know, doing the pose differently, or I don't know, whatever happened. I just noticed it just was, for me, was a mindfulness practice to come back. But anyway, so try that. That's a good question. Can we take this apart? If we could solve it with our minds, it would be so good. It'd be so much better. All right, I think we've said goodbye like 3 times. This time I mean it. You ready? Can we, Corey, we're done?
I just-
Stop? All right.